People, welcome back to Politics Watch. This is your host, Sir P. Now, yesterday I did a video talking about the British resident that got ambushed out there near the National Stadium by two men who were riding on a Yang bike. Now, as I was talking about how difficult it would be for the police to do anything about these Yang bikes, my subscribers and viewers started to tell me in the comment section that other countries, notably Colombia, had taken steps to deal with these Yang bikes and the men who carry out hits using them. Now I started to do some research, right, and I found some very interesting information related to how countries like Colombia tackled these bikes, and I started to think how the Jamaican government could implement similar measures and if they would work. Now, based on the research I did, I found out that there are actually three main countries that have taken steps to ban passengers on the back of these bikes, or pillions as we call them. Right now, Colombia is probably the most infamous one, but I see a similar trend amongst all three countries. The three countries are Colombia, Honduras, and Guatemala. Three countries with very high crime rates, especially Honduras. I think Honduras' crime rate is even higher than Jamaica's. Right, so these are very violent places. So these are very good case studies to compare to Jamaica. Now, in Colombia, the government did not bring this law into effect until politicians started to die left, right, and center. Right. In Honduras, they did not bring out this law to ban pillions until the Honduras security minister lost his life. Now, can you imagine that? In Honduras 87 octanes in Honduras are so vicious, right, that they went after the Minister of Security. Now, let me tell you this, I don't think there's a 87 octane in Jamaica who's brave enough or foolish enough to go after the Minister of Security. But in Honduras, clearly they don't care about anybody. Right? And it was after the Honduran Minister of Security got taken out by somebody on the back of one of these bikes. That is when Honduras passed the law. Right? Now, Guatemala, the third country to have a law like this, they also brought out their law after the director of the National Chamber of Industry got taken out by some 87 octanes, some Guatemalan 87 octanes who were riding on the back of a bike. So you see the trend right away. These countries did not bring in these laws until so-called important people got taken out by these Yang riders. And the thing that I believe is that Jamaica would be the same. I think the Jamaican government would not or will not do anything about the criminals who ride on the back of these Yangs until something happened to one of them or one of their family members. People have to realize, Jamaica is not unique in the sense of how crime takes place and how politicians treat crime. It's the same all over the world. It's not a problem until it turns up at their doorstep. Look how much thousands of people dead at Colombia and Honduras and Guatemala over the years. But it took some politicians to get them head top lick off for them to start do something about it. And unfortunately, I think that would be a similar case for Jamaica. As long as regular people who are not connected to any high profile politicians, people who are not connected to any super wealthy families in Jamaica, people who don't link with any 116 octanes, as long as those people are the ones who are being taken out by these riders, I don't think we're going to see anything happening. That's just the reality of the situation. It's very unlikely. Right? Another thing you have to factor is that these laws did not go down well in these countries. For example, in Medellin, Colombia, close to 12,000 people were arrested for violating the ban. 12,000. In other words, they passed the law saying you can't carry a pillion, and the Colombians were like, you can't tell me that. Right? And they were still riding around on the back of these bikes. Now, as I said, these South American companies are great case studies for what would happen in Jamaica, because South Americans and Caribbean people are not that different in terms of attitude towards law and order. Same way Jamaicans can be unruly, it's the same way you find a lot of South American countries. People can be very unruly. Right? Yeah, Colombia, Honduras and those places. Latin America. Yeah, so South America, Latin America is very similar to the Caribbean. Right? Central America, those places. Their culture is very close to ours. So the same way you hear that 12,000 people get arrested for violating the ban, if Jamaica was to bring in a ban like this, you best believe a lot of Jamaicans, thousands of Jamaicans will be violating this ban. And instantly people are going to start bawl, say, "Whoa, yeah, pressure poor people," and you know, the usual thing. So this is why I said in the British video, it would not be an easy law to bring in. It won't. Right? Another thing is, in Colombia, they actually banned the passenger on the back of the bike between certain hours. I think it was between 8 a.m. and midnight. So it wasn't a 24 hours ban. Right? So there's a lot of factors to it. But it's just very interesting to see how other countries have actually reacted to these bike assassins, even though it took a couple of politicians and high profile individuals to get taken out before they react. Right? But at least now we know that, well, at least there's something that can be done, because originally when I did the British video, I said I can't see what government could do to help reduce the crime rate from these bike assassins. And as I said, I have to give my subscribers credit, because they are the ones who informed me about Colombia. And Colombia actually reported huge success in a reduction on crime after they passed these laws. So they just had to deal with the initial resistance of people just not obeying the law, and people fighting back and thinking that the law is trying to stop them from carrying their family and carrying their friends and things like that. But I think people have to look at the bigger picture. Right? Now, if I was a bike man and a law like this coming, or if I was somebody who had to rely on a bridging who ride a bike and drop me at work, now I can understand how it would be very frustrating. So we have to be realistic and accept that this would not just be a simple ABC law. It would need a lot of thought. A lot of stakeholders will need to sit down at the table and actually come up with, for example, maybe say, okay, they can't ride with a passenger between these areas, or doing traffic hours, or something like that. Right? This would not be an easy law to pass. Right? But it's reaching crisis levels. Okay? These yang bikes are carrying 87 octanes. It's just, you're doing too much damage. Right? They're not only carrying out hits, but they're attacking women. They might grab woman purse. Them see a woman on her phone and grab it. They might grab man chain it's getting out of hand, right? So something has to be done, right? But whatever the government plans to do, if they plan to do anything, because you know how them operate already, it's going to require a lot of stakeholders to sit at the table. As a matter of fact, I would suggest they bring some actual bike riders to the table, sit down and get their input, because I'm sure law-abiding bike man want to come to a solution as well, right? So, as I said, this is very interesting. Well, people, this is Politics Watch. Like, comment, share, and tell me your opinion on this thing. Bless up.